Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
Terror threats.
Terror.
Terror.
Terror. War on terrorism.
War against terrorism.
Global war on terror.
Global terrorism. 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 Global terrorism.
Terrorism. Terrorism.
Terrorism.
Terrorism. Terrorism. Terrorism. Terrorism. Terrorism. Terrorism. The evil terrorists. 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 Terrorists.
Terrorist. 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 Terrorist.
Terrorist.
Terrorist.
Terrorist. Terrorist.
Terrorists. 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 Terrorists.
3 years ago, the White House persuaded the media, Republicans and Democrats in Congress, and a majority of the American people to accept their case for military action in Iraq, largely based on a very powerful image, a nuclear mushroom cloud. The president, the vice president, and others repeatedly warned of the looming threat of a nuclear weapon in Saddam Hussein's arsenal that could be used against the territory of the United States.
The Bush administration had assembled a media strategy team known as the White House Iraq Group. It consisted of top officials, including those in the vice president's office, whose goal, starting after Labor Day, was to sell a war on Iraq, which had no detectable role on 9/11. In a unique media blitz, the White House dispatched 5 A-list administration officials to the television airwaves, one to each of the Sunday talk shows. Colin Powell on Fox News Sunday said about Saddam, quote, "We saw him reporting just this morning. He is still trying to acquire, for example, some of the specialized aluminum tubing one needs to develop centrifuges."
Our intelligence is always imperfect, and we usually find out that what we don't know is the most troublesome. And in this case, so we don't know. But our estimate is that at this point he does not have a nuclear weapon, but he wants one.
On CNN, when Condoleezza Rice was asked if it's possible the tubes were not for nuclear weapons, she replied,
"We don't want the smoking gun to be a mushroom cloud."
The next day, the White House marketers delivered their product. A New York Times front page story. U.S. says Hussein intensifies quest for A-bomb parts. Judy Miller, attributing the story to Bush administration officials, reported, quote, "Iraq has stepped up its quest for nuclear weapons and has embarked on a worldwide hunt for materials to make an atomic bomb. In the last 14 months, Iraq has sought to buy thousands of specially designed aluminum tubes meant for Iraq's nuclear program."
There's a story in the New York Times this morning.
Vice President Cheney, in a scheduled appearance on Meet the Press that same day, pointed to the story about Saddam and added
that he is, in fact, actively and aggressively seeking to acquire nuclear weapons.
Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein.
Saddam. Saddam. Saddam.
Saddam.
Saddam. Saddam. Saddam.
Saddam. Saddam. Saddam.
Saddam. Saddam Hussein.
the next day at the United Nations.
Iraq has made several attempts to buy high-strength aluminum tubes used to enrich uranium for a nuclear weapon. Should Iraq acquire fissile material, it would be able to build a nuclear weapon within a year.
Weapons of mass destruction.
Weapons of mass destruction. Weapons programs.
The deadliest of weapons.
Terrible weapons.
Nuclear weapons.
Nuclear weapons.
You have said in the past that it was, quote, pretty well confirmed.
No, I never said that.
Okay. I
never
think
said
that is...
No, it's absolutely not. What I said was the Czech intelligence service reported after 9/11 that Atta had been in Prague on April 9th of 2001, where he allegedly met with an Iraqi intelligence official. We have never been able to confirm that, nor have we been able to knock it down. It's been pretty well confirmed that he did go to Prague and he did meet with a senior official of the Iraqi intelligence service in Czechoslovakia last week.
The main reason we went into Iraq at the time was we thought he had weapons of mass destruction. It turns out he didn't, but he had the capacity to make weapons of mass destruction. But I also talked about, what did Iraq have to do with what?
The attack on the World Trade Center.
Nothing. What did Iraq have to do with what?
The attack on the World Trade Center.
Nothing.
But on the other hand, you also cannot be a president in a wartime and not realize that you got to stay the course.
We will stay the course until the job is done, Steve. And my message today to those in Iraq is we'll stay the course. And that's why we're going to stay the course in Iraq. And that's why when we say something in Iraq, we're going to do it.
listen, we've never been stay the course, George.